But our top story tonight, it's now close to a month after the Pulwama attack that killed over 40 CRPF men, and a fortnight after India conducted an airstrike on a Jaish terror camp in Pakistan. A grenade attack today in Jammu around noon has killed one person, left over 30 people injured. The Jammu and Kashmir police claimed that the Hizbul Mujahideen was behind the attack and the main accused has been arrested. The return of terror is our top story tonight.
Terror rears its ugly head again, this time in Jammu. A grenade was hurled at a bus at a crowded terminal on Thursday morning. The explosion left over 25 people injured. The first terror attack after the retaliatory airstrike on terror camps in Pakistan jolted Jammu and sent people into panic.
सर मेरे को खुद पता नहीं चला क्या हुआ क्या नहीं। मैं आगे जो साथी हैं वो आगे खड़े थे तो वो नीचे गिर पड़े। जब तो रास्ते इधर लगा नीचे से सामान गिरा तो मैं उठ के देखा तो मेरे को सुनाई कुछ नहीं दे रहा था। बाहर देखो तो बाहर 5-7 बंदे और नीचे पड़े हैं तो मैं घबरा गया, भागने की तैयारी कर दी बाहर जाने की।
जैसे धमाका सुना मैं इधर आया, दौड़ते उधर 5-6 आदमी पड़े थे खून से लथपथ। हमने एक को उठाया, उसको ऑटो में डाल के फिर हॉस्पिटल ले लिया। तो जब पहले गाड़ी का टायर फटा है, जब हम गाड़ियों के टायर चेक करने लगे तो टायर शायर कोई नहीं फटा था, ऐसा लगता है किसी ने कुछ फेंका ही है।
The scene of the blast was sealed off by the police. They have arrested one person for allegedly throwing the grenade. The police say the Hizbul Mujahideen is behind the terror attack. The case was cracked after the police scanned CCTV visuals. They zeroed in on a youth in jeans with a red bag who turned out to be the suspect.
In the preliminary interrogation, he has revealed that he was tasked to throw this grenade by the district commander of Hizbul Mujahideen in Kulgam by the name of Farooq Ahmed Bhatt alias Umar.
Hello. This is the third grenade attack in and around the bus terminal since May last year. The centre says terrorists are getting desperate after the crackdown by security forces.
Obviously, the terrorists are on the run, following the kind of pressure that has been built on them, as you were seeing in the last few weeks and days. The Modi government decisive action on terror outfits and terrorists, both within the borders, outside the borders. And virtually, I believe this is the last chapter of terrorism.
The BJP has blamed Pakistan for the Jammu blast, while the Congress is accusing the centre of being unable to control the situation in Jammu and Kashmir.
भीड़भाड़ वाले इलाकों से सभी को सतर्क रहना होगा, जनता भी सतर्क रहनी चाहिए और हमारे पुलिस प्रशासन या सिक्योरिटी फोर्स उनको सतर्क रहना होगा। ये लोग प्रयास करेंगे लेकिन उसके प्रयास को हम सब मिलकर के विफल करें, ऐसी हमारी कोशिश रहनी चाहिए।
You know, the tragedy is that this is becoming a repeat offence every few days. So what is the government planning to do to secure the lives of our civilians? What are they going to do to provide security for the common man there? And that is the anxiety, that if this continues and it shows a total failure.
Jammu is once again on the hit list of terrorists. The city was jolted by a grenade attack carried out by terrorists on Thursday morning. Although the main accused was arrested within 6 hours of the incident, but questions are being raised as to how come terrorists managed to carry out this attack in the heart of Jammu city despite security agencies having credible intelligence inputs about it. With video journalist Neeraj Kumar, this is Sunil Bhatt reporting from Jammu for India Today.
Now that is one troubling story that came in from Jammu today, and there was another troubling story that reflects the other side of the Jammu versus Kashmir divide. Almost a month after the Pulwama attack, attacks on Kashmiris continue unabated. This time, 2 Kashmiri dry fruit sellers were thrashed by Hindu extremist organization activities in the heart of Lucknow in broad daylight. People simply stood and watched by. While some of the accused have been arrested, the main suspect is still on the run.
Visuals that should have shocked the conscience of a nation. 2 dry fruit sellers in Lucknow have become the latest victims of hate. Their crime? They hail from Kashmir. Activists of a Hindu right-wing group assaulted the traders in daylight, even as several people kept watching.
वहाँ पता नहीं कौन लोग आए थे सर, उसने मुझे बहुत मार पीट किया था सर। बोला आप कश्मीरी हैं? मैंने बोला हाँ, क्या बात है भैया? बोला यहाँ क्यों लगाते हो, वहाँ पे पत्थर लगाते हो, यहाँ पे कमाते हो फिर भाग जाते हो। मैंने बोला नहीं सर, हमको 10-15 साल हो गए यहाँ पे आते आते, हमने आज तक किसी कुछ नहीं कहा। जो इसको मार दिया सलाम को, फिर उसके बाद हमारे पास आ गया। हमारे पास कोई राहगीर नफर आया था, उसने हमको बचा लिया। तो वो पता नहीं वो कपड़े वाला कौन था, उसने उसके बाद में पुलिस को फ़ोन किया, पुलिस आ गया और हमारा पुलिस ले गया। आज में हमने एफआईआर काटा।
The video that went viral forced the police to act. One suspect who was arrested has a criminal record and 12 murder cases against him.
इस प्रकरण में थाना हसनगंज लखनऊ पर मुकदमा अपराध संख्या 80/19 अंतर्गत धारा 147, 323, 504 भारतीय दंड संहिता रजिस्टर किया गया है। आरोपी युवकों की शिनाख्त कर उनकी तलाश की जा रही है तथा इसमें अग्रितर विधिक कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
The main accused, Himanshu, claims to be the president of the Vishwa Hindu Dal. He posted updates of the shameful attack on Facebook. He's on the run. The VHP meanwhile has come out in support of the assailants.
इसमें माफी किस चीज की? देखिए, कश्मीर में हुए पुलवामा हमले के खिलाफ देश की जनता में आक्रोश है और यही आक्रोश कल विश्व हिंदू दल के कार्यकर्ताओं द्वारा कश्मीरियों के ऊपर फूटा, जो कि यहाँ पे आके ड्राई फ्रूट्स बेच रहे थे। ठीक है, ये वही कश्मीरी हैं। मैं कहना चाहूँगा संपूर्ण देशवासियों से कि ये वही कश्मीरी हैं जो कश्मीर में भारतीय सेना के ऊपर पत्थर फेंकते हैं।
Politicians cutting across party lines have condemned the heinous incident and have called for strictest action against the perpetrators.
देखिए, कोई भी कानून को अपने हाथ में ले गलत है और इसको इस नज़रिए से देखना बिल्कुल गलत है कि कौन यहाँ है कौन बाहरी है, क्या ये हम डिसाइड नहीं कर सकते। और जिन लोगों ने ये कार्रवाई की है उनके खिलाफ कड़ी कार्रवाई की जा रही है और ऐसा इस देश में नहीं चलेगा कि कोई भी व्यक्ति कानून अपने हाथ में ले। कानून का जो उल्लंघन करेगा भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार उसके खिलाफ कड़ी कार्रवाई करेगी।
Lucknow police have arrested accused persons in Kashmiri vendors thrashing case in Lucknow. Also ensured that they will be re-established and safety will be given to them. But the biggest challenge before police is that to stop such kind of cases in the state, without which government's image is always on stake. With camera person Neeraj Kumar, this is Shiven Srivastava for India Today in Lucknow.
So two images tonight that I want to show that reflect perhaps the dilemma and the crisis and the challenge that this country faces. On the one hand, innocent fruit sellers being thrashed in Lucknow simply because they are Kashmiri Muslims. On the other hand, in Jammu, a grenade blast in the bus stop where the accused is being linked to the Hizbul Mujahideen. These are the two images that tonight lead me to my talking point. How should the country and the state be dealing with terror in Jammu and Kashmir? Is Jammu and Kashmir becoming Jammu versus Kashmir? Is the Modi government losing control of the situation in J&K? Is the NDA government's Kashmir policy failing? Do Kashmiris feel even more alienated than before? Just some of the questions I will raise tonight. Sambit Patra, spokesperson of the BJP, Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Congress are joining me. Shabnam Lone, advocate in Srinagar, MM Khajuria, former DGP Jammu and Kashmir, Zorawar Daulat Singh, fellow at the Center for Policy Research, are joining me. I want to get each one of you to respond to what you've just seen tonight. You first, Sambit Patra, because what you've seen tonight perhaps is both the darker side of what's happening in Jammu and what's also happening to Kashmiri Muslims. Your response?
First and foremost, I would condemn both both the gruesome events, I would say. The throwing of a grenade, which is, I believe, a terror work, and I totally condemn it, and of course the police have already spoken that it was a handiwork of the Hizbul, which has an ISI connection as well. And secondly, as far as hitting the Kashmiri person, the vendor is concerned, it is condemnable. Even Mr. Arun Jaitley has tweeted about it, saying that we want the saath of Kashmiris, we want the togetherness of our Kashmiri brothers if we really want to fight against
But those are fine words.
Having said that, I have an objection.
Dr. Patra, I must respond. Those are fine words, but they don't seem to have action on the ground. You saw what happened in Dehradun last month. Now this happens in Lucknow. It only widens the divide between Jammu and Kashmir.
Allow me a few seconds. Allow me a few seconds, but I believe you would allow me a few seconds to raise a pertinent objection. I object to the fact, Mr. Rajdeep Sardesai, that very conveniently you say, though I condemn what happened with the Kashmiri vendor, but you said that this is what Hindus have done to innocent Muslim. Well, I agree that this should not have been done. This, I have written it down. You said that Hindus,
right-wing Hindu groups have done it to innocent Kashmiri fruit sellers. Just as innocent people on the bus stand have been targeted by someone allegedly from the Hizbul.
Just a second, Rajdeep, let me tell you what kind of narrative we are trying to float. You use the word innocent Muslim also. Probably it is so engraved in you that you probably did not remember it, and now you are saying it is fruit seller. But you did not say the same for Kashmir and Jammu. You said that the grenade was thrown by Hizbul. You never said by Muslims for attacking the Hindus. We should not do that. Neither should you do that, nor should I do that. So this kind of binary is not going to work. Hindus and Muslims are not the words which should be drawn over here. We have to object to both the things. Number two, whether Mr. Modi government's approach has failed? Absolutely not. It is a frustration of the terror organization. It is the frustration of the separatists that we are seeing today. Remember, the fight against terrorism is not an all or none phenomena, that either you fight the process or you don't fight it at all. Yes, it will go on. 30 years since Pakistan has been trying to bleed India to 1,000 cuts. 30 years that India has been trying to fight terrorism this way or that way. We have been trying to be innovative. We have tried our best to fight terrorism through various means. Today I would see that there is a paradigm shift as far as fight against terrorism is concerned, in the sense that in the valley we have Operation All Clear, Operation All Out, where we are wiping out terrorists. I believe that is a bold step, a much required step, while we are entering Pakistan and we are hitting them where it hurts them the most.
Terror still continues.
This combination is a required combination.
I take your point. I take your point. Let me make it very clear.
I told you, just a minute.
Dr. Patra, you are not going to put me on the defensive on this, because I am very clear that innocent fruit sellers have been targeted and innocent people at the bus stand have been targeted. Violence has been used in both instances. So let's be very clear. You're not going to put me on the defensive, but Priyanka Chaturvedi, respond to what you've heard from Dr. Patra. The BJP says they've condemned what has happened in Lucknow. They've arrested the people concerned. And what has happened in Jammu is a result of the terrorists being on the run. Respond to that. That is it fair every time there's a terrorist incident that the Congress raises a question on the BJP's Jammu policy or the BJP's Jammu and Kashmir policy?
No, you know, it becomes important that every single Indian questions the Jammu and Kashmir policy of the government, which was in place till a few months ago. They should be questioning the policies of the centre as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. Let's not deny this. You have to understand Jammu and Kashmir needs healing. Today there's a huge trust deficit between Jammu and the people of Kashmir. People of Kashmir across the nation. And who has created these divides? Who has endorsed and condoned these kind of divides? It is just one political party which suits and it suits the political narrative.
Terror existed in Jammu and Kashmir before 2014, ma'am.
Questioning that. I'm shocked when Mr. Patra comes and says,
before 2014 as well.
Mr. Patra, no, it does. I'm not denying that. Mr. Sardesai, you do not need to jump on behalf of the BJP. Please allow me to complete. Terror did exist then. Terror does exist now. 260% rise as per the government data in the 5 years of Mr. Modi's tough government is a testimony to that. The highest amount of cross-border violations is a testimony of that. 18 terror attacks is a testimony of that. What is also a testimony of the entire failed policy of the Bharatiya Janata Party is how they have had a policy which is blow hot, blow cold. Sometimes they want to be friends with the neighbors, sometimes they are the worst enemies. And when they carry out these airstrikes, they're so busy chest thumping that they forget the scourge of terror is still not beyond us. And today's Jammu attack categorically states that. I was shocked when he said the grenade thrower is a Muslim and it's about innocent Hindus versus innocent Muslims. What he's forgetting is the people who die are human beings. People who are being used to kill each other are humans at the end of the day. Can we please keep religion aside for a minute and understand that this entire state needs healing? The country needs healing from this kind of divisiveness that is perpetrating.
Ma'am, we can be politically correct and keep religion out of it. The truth is, the Kashmiri Muslim fruit seller was killed because, was targeted, not killed, sorry, was targeted because he was a Kashmiri Muslim. At the Jammu bus stand, the grenade was probably thrown to again spread panic and often target those belonging to the majority community, to the Hindus there. So I'm going to not be politically correct tonight. It's time to call a spade, but Shabnam Lone respond. Those two images today are both gruesome images that this country doesn't want to see. What's the solution?
Rajdeep, two words I heard was they were disturbing and gruesome. But I would say it's an unrelenting saga, an unrelenting journey in grief for all of us concerned, people from Jammu and Kashmir. The question is what's ailing the valley? What is the Kashmir Valley all about? It's not about the UPAs or the
Is it Jammu and Kashmir or Jammu versus Kashmir?
Both of them
Is it become
us.
Jammu versus
And
Kashmir?
Has India failed the
Has it become Jammu versus Kashmir?
This is what I'm saying. Unfortunately, this is what I'm saying. Well, Kashmiris and Jammuites, we will fight that it must not become Jammu versus Kashmir. All of us must fight this disease. This disease which is very dangerous, and let me tell all of them. Now, those Kashmiris who were attacked in Lucknow and those people who attacked the majority community in Jammu, this is something that will envelop the whole state in flames. This will not stop here. And what is Kashmir today? It continues to simmer in blood and mayhem. It continues to simmer. It's a saga of what history has given us. A political conflict, a political chaos brought about by this cantankerous, catatonic political voices.
Yes.
It won't end here, Rajdeep.
No, but
you see,
I am looking tonight
for peace.
I am looking tonight, ma'am,
for dialogue.
I am looking.
But I have stated it.
Just a minute.
I have stated it unequivocally.
Yes.
No, let me finish, Rajdeep.
Yes.
I have stated it unequivocally. Now, what is the solution? Unfortunately, I feel that war between India and Pakistan over Kashmir is the only solution. Now, you would tell me why. Now, let me give you an example. Now, this Masood Azhar, wasn't he the man who had hijacked for whom the plane was hijacked? Wasn't Mushtaq Latram released with him? Now, did India need proof to show to the whole world that he was a terrorist? What was India doing for all these 14, 15, 16 years?
Ma'am,
they put up to the international community? Did they say that we want them back? No, you did not. Now they are creating mayhem, they are creating chaos. Now this Shah Mahmood Qureshi, just 5-6 days before, he said that he is in Pakistan. Now today Pakistan has said he is not with us. Why is India watching all this helplessly?
One minute, ma'am. Shabnam Lone, just a minute.
We have got
Shabnam Lone, just a minute now. You made your point. Yes. Let's be very clear here. We are looking for solutions. Zorawar Singh, do you see solutions? As someone who analyzes it, the politicians will have their own. Do you see solutions given this widening rift that one sees on the ground? A blast takes place at the Jammu bus stand and you've got fruit sellers being targeted because they are Kashmiri Muslims in Lucknow. Do you see a solution to this widening rift? Is more security a solution at all?
Well, unfortunately not. See, Rajdeep, you can't have any political solution or stability without security. So, and the security forces are doing a tremendous job. They're taking deep hits. The levels of casualties are going up. If anything, I would argue that our counterinsurgency, counter-terrorism posture needs to become more advanced, more sophisticated. We cannot be losing so many jawans and officers for every single encounter with a terrorist. But there's only so much that they can do. You need the politics to be in place. Unfortunately, the ruling government, for the most part, has been also in the regional setting there. So they have to take responsibility for this. And there is an external player who is going to fish in troubled waters. You are doing what you can to alter the perceptions of the Pakistan army. So I would say these airstrikes have at least introduced a new element of uncertainty, ambiguity for India's future intentions, which is a good thing. But that by itself is not going to solve this crescendo of escalating violence within Kashmir. So you need to temper it down. Security forces have to play their role, and politics has to come in. Now, we're coming into an election. I can't see any form of rational debate or the local politicians coming together on this. So I'm afraid we're going to have to wait for a few more months till we gauge what lies ahead.
Mr. Khajuria, you've been a police officer on the ground. Is it getting worse? You heard Jitendra Singh, the MP from the area, saying this is the last stage of terrorism. Do you believe this is the last stage of terrorism?
Absolutely not. But firstly, let me put the Jammu incident in the correct perspective. It's not a Hindu versus a Muslim affair, because the person who died is a Muslim from Hardwar. 9 of the persons injured are Kashmiris. It is Jammu is a target of Pakistan because its primary interest in the waters of Chenab, and therefore they will try to create both the communal divide here and encourage this kind of incidents in which people suffer and create insecurity. So the first answer to this is that we must further strengthen our brotherhood in Jammu and take care of this, involve people in this process to resist this kind of activities by outsiders. As far as the Kashmir part, the overall condition is concerned, there's going to be no end to this violence in the near future, as long as Pakistan feels and is determined to take over Jammu and Kashmir, because they feel their very existence depends on that.
So you're saying, but no, I take the Pakistan, just a minute, sir. I take the Pakistan role. The fact is Pakistan has fished in the troubled waters of the Dal Lake and indeed in Jammu for years. The question therefore, Sambit Patra, is what is the BJP doing to actually provide a healing touch? You've left a political vacuum there today, and we therefore don't know what that vacuum is going to be filled by. One day you arrest the separatists, one day you are ready to reach out to them, one day you are with Mehbooba Mufti's government, next day you've ditched that government. There's a sense that there's been a lack of cohesion to your policy in Kashmir, and in a way it suits you. It suits you to keep Kashmir burning, because then you have a well-defined enemy to deal with, who you can use for your politics in the rest of India. That's the reality. You use the national security concerns in Jammu and Kashmir to play your politics in the rest of India, Sambit Patra.
Rajdeep, you are very excited in asking this question. You have asked a very long question, and please give me uninterrupted 1 minute 50 seconds so that I can answer it. And I promise you, I'll give a very candid answer. Number one, what is the disease that ails Kashmir? All of us experts over here are sitting and discussing about Kashmir, but none of us have come to the real disease. As a doctor, I would say first diagnose the disease, only then you would know the cure. I will tell you in one word what the disease is. The disease is Wahhabism creeping into Kashmir and radicalization taking on over Kashmir. Until and unless we use this word, we throw the garb of this liberalism aside. Hum bahut achhe log hain, hum dharm ke naam pe
What's the Wahhabism in Lucknow?
All these kind of stuff aside.
There is Hindutva Hindutva politics on one side and there's Wahhabism on the other.
Sir,
you will focus only the Wahhabism. What about the muscular Hindutva that I just see in front of me in Lucknow?
Mr. Rajdeep, don't shout and get excited in the middle of my answer. I respect you a great deal as an anchor, and I firmly believe that you'll give me some time. Thank you so much. And let me be categorical in putting in over here. There is nothing called as muscular Hinduism, and no one dare compare Hinduism with Wahhabism. There is nothing called as Wahhabism and a comparable second to Wahhabism in Hinduism. For God's sake, until and unless all of you get the disease correct, that it is radicalization because of Wahhabism that we have a Kashmir burning, not because of a BJP. It is because of political parties which, under the garb of appeasement, have allowed this to happen over decades, number one. Number two, what is the political end result of Kashmir? What do these people want? Do they want good road? Do they want Ujjwala Yojana? Will they be satisfied if we have electrification? No. They want a separate state, which they all can listen. We will not give them. Kashmir is an integral part of India, and all those terrorists who try to, in fact, float this idea that we want to separate Kashmir, hum Allah ke naam pe patthar phekenge. No, enough is enough. We are not the Congress. We are not the Congress party. Hum Hurriyat walon ko bhi giraftar karenge. Jamaat Islami ko bhi hum band kar denge. And we are not going to spare terrorists. There is nothing called as Mr. Rajdeep Sardesai, a healing touch for terrorists. Healing touch is for people. Terrorists do not get healing touch.
Okay, very, very strong word. Shabnam Lone wants to be the first to respond to those. Shabnam Lone, according to Sambit Patra, the elephant in the room is the radicalization that has taken place in the valley. That is what has encouraged this form of terrorism, according to Sambit Patra.
Well, he's a good doctor, I suppose, but his diagnosis is absolutely wrong. Extremism is the problem, Rajdeep. Extremism, both Hindu extremism and Muslim extremism. One. Second, Kashmir is not a problem of radicalism. 3 wars with Pakistan. From 1947, we have had 3 wars with Pakistan, isn't it? So in 1947, in 1953, when Sheikh Abdullah was thrown out of his government, the problem was festering. It is a festering political wound. Kashmir festers. And they say it is radicalism. Yes, there is radicalism in the world. We see there are some Muslim youths who have turned radical. But that is a problem which is endemic to the entire Muslim world. They may be attracted by ISIS. But those people, maybe you have some boys here too. Maybe there are 100, 200 boys. But does it mean that it cloaks the real issue? That is the Kashmir dispute. That is the Kashmir issue, which has devoured lives and destinies of the common Kashmiri.
Okay, you made your point again.
Is a simmering discontent.
Okay, you made your point. You made your point that you made your point that the political dispute
enough is enough.
Okay.
My message to the government. If you cannot get us
what
peace,
enough is enough? Then, no, I want to respond.
Then win us over by war with Pakistan. Then go for war. Don't. Yes.
Okay. No. 1 minute.
Yes.
1 minute. Sambit.
And I'm emphatic. The doctor is wrong.
Just a minute, ma'am.
Your diagnosis is absolutely wrong.
Okay, you made that point. Priyanka Chaturvedi, according to Sambit Patra, there's a sense that the politics of appeasement over the years has led Jammu and Kashmir to where we are today, and has created this Jammu versus Kashmir divide. And the BJP will not accept it. He refuses to accept its muscular Hindutva, says it's Islamic radicalism. Your response?
This is one of the most shameful explanations coming from a political party whose entire genesis, the beginning and the root has been to create division and schisms in the society and divide them on the basis of their religion. And this suits them exceedingly well. I'm sorry, please. I'm not talking about Hindutva and extremism. Please do not get into that. I can get into that debate, but right now it is about how you all have created divisions in the society, knowing there are problems that fracture societies that exist and exploiting them for your political point of view and for your political point scoring and to get votes and to seek votes. Jammu Kashmir is something that suits you all politically. You'll go and form a government with PDP. You'll ensure that you'll continue to be in power at the expense of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, go and create a huge, massive mess out there, whether it is about trying to bring them all together, trying to involve them in the mainstream of the nation, trying to involve them economically, trying to create jobs for them, trying to create development for them. But what you have given them is a whole host of, I would say, burning issues.
There will be those who will argue that the Congress also failed.
Your narrative, Mr. Sambit Patra.
But it would also be argued that the Congress
thrives on and will continue to thrive on. You are using that in Uttar Pradesh. You will continue to use it.
Ma'am, the problem precedes 2014.
I didn't see any condemnation coming from any BJP person. I haven't heard any condemnation coming from the Bharatiya Janata Party in terms of how they will try and end this entire division that is existing in the minds and hearts of the people at this point in time.
Zorawar Singh is... okay, Sambit Patra, you want to quickly respond very quickly.
Very quick I'll be. First and foremost, let's get it correct. When Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Congress says that it is because of jobs and development that Kashmiris are rebelling on the ground, I'm sorry. Either they are too naive or they don't want to discuss the real issue. Number two, when you asked a question that Sambit Patra would not agree that this is a problem of Hindutva, rather he would speak about radicalization, let me again reiterate that Kashmir issue is not because of Hindutva, sir, and Priyanka supported you. I would say Priyanka was absolutely wrong when she blamed Hindutva for it. I stand by my support that it is because of radicalization, as to what I had said.
Okay.
All this problem is because of Wahhabism gradually creeping in and radicalization. Agree or don't agree?
Many will say it's just also a large political problem created by misgovernance. Do you see, Zorawar Singh, any immediate solution? Is it going to get worse? Is it going to get worse? Zorawar, is it going to get worse?
Yeah, so I think we've passed the stage of half measures. I think this is going to sound a little provocative. We have to consider ways to connecting the people of Jammu and Kashmir closer with India. If we can't rethink some of our constitutional arrangements or adapt them, certainly there are other ways where civil society, our educational institutions, our cultural institutions, we have to, if you're going to say the hearts and minds of the Kashmiri people, they want peace and development. There may be a radical element there which is coming in, but I think the majority of the Kashmiri and the Jammu people want a good and better way of life that hopefully the rest of India is providing its citizens. We need to do that. We also need to get politicians at the local level there to be more responsive. It's not going to be a normal state or province of India, but we are going to have to fight because you have an external power that's continue to fuel this insurgency and cross-border terror. While we contain that, we need to have politicians in place there who are Democrats and responsible. They unfortunately, and sad to say, none of the political parties at that level have performed as they ought to be doing. So they have to play their role, but we need, as the rest of India, because don't forget the Indian people are willing to bear extraordinary sacrifices to keep Kashmir with India. We need to now give the Kashmiris a chance to profit from this rising India. So we need to connect them closer to the Indians.
Let's leave it on that positive note. I appreciate all of you joining us here on a rather sad day as those images play across your television screens. Jammu and Kashmir has exemplified our national security challenge long before the Narendra Modi government came to power in 2014. What has changed dramatically though is the deepening divide between the valley and Jammu. Jammu and Kashmir is now Jammu versus Kashmir. Jammu Hindu versus Kashmiri Muslim. Today's grenade blast in Jammu and the attack on Kashmiri shopkeepers in Lucknow will further widen the cleavage. The violent edge has sharpened since the bloody summer of 2016. There has been a steady rise in terror incidents, encounters and killings. While we adopt a policy of muscular nationalism towards Islamabad, we seem to have few solutions to tackle the crisis in the valley. The healing touch has long since been given up, but the vacuum left behind remains a festering wound. Terror and religious polarization have become a deadly mix, which, as we saw in Pulwama, have even bred the cult of the suicide bomber. We now have few options left. Pouring in more armament is not a solution, and with every terror attack, the security challenge deepens. The question is, do we care enough to show the patience and stamina to work with stakeholders in the valley and beyond? A long, hot summer lies ahead, one where looming despair coexists with dwindling hope. Kashmir, Durast.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.